So what about cryopods? When you're throwing them out near enemy players, foundations, etc., how close can you actually be for these to work? Right. Well, the trick is to get this powered to place it near enemy foundation. So for this test, the foundation all the way there, then where you can see the pillar sticking up, is where the enemy foundation was at. All right, and then of course I reclaimed it as my foundation to build out for measurement purposes. So that's what you're seeing. But look how far away I have to put the tech generator. We'll show the range real quick. You can see just how far close we can get. All right, so even though the generator is really far, look at that. Our range of power goes almost to their foundation still. So you have some play with the generator. If you have to place one really far away, it can still work. So you're able to place a tech refrigerator about 17 foundations away from a enemy foundation, which is about how far you can place foundations from an enemy foundation. So as you see, it had to be placed on the very back edge though, so maybe closer to 18, right at the edge of 18 to 17 foundations away. Well, that's okay because you have about a 13 foundation range with these guys for throwing out cryopods. Right, so this is how close I can get to an enemy foundation without throwing, and still be able to throw out a cryopod. This is about 11 foundations. Alright, so you can get really close to an enemy foundation and still throw out cryopods. The misconception that you can't use cryopods in PvP anymore is it's not actually accurate. You can get really close to a foundation, closer than you can to build. So you can definitely still use these for raiding caves and things like that. You just will have to push foundations a little farther. Cryofridge has only been out for maybe a week now. I've been testing, so some of this stuff may change. I have another video that probably is going to come out before this, just due to my scheduling. It should show you what blocks cryopods, and you'd be surprised what blocks cryopods. So you can use some of those ideas as strategies for blocking cryopods. So make sure to check that video out as well. Alright, so if we're building the caging on top of a outside base or some where stegos and things like that could be dropped. Alright, we're not going to go and reinforce a whole lot. This is just for showing you how to do it. There should be a video that will be releasing before this one that shows my build of a teleport pad base. It'll show the finished caging with different snap points. Of course, the more snap points you have supporting your caging, the better off you are. So once you go up with, use double doors. Okay, you can use pillars if you want to. Pillars are extremely weak. Alright, they don't anchor at multiple points like double doors do. So now we can use pillars on top to do this. Alright, so you can line your double doors with pillars. And your outside caging, right, with pillars. To add support here, you can use ceilings, but it creates a bigger LOS than pillars. You could maybe even use half ceilings if you wanted. But we're going to use pillars for this purpose. Alright, so now we got that going, right? What we can do here is we can now, of course we could continue going with double doors anyway because we already have double doors down. Alright, and go every other one if this was caging. Okay, but now the cool thing about pillars is we can now do this with it, right? So we can flip pillars. Okay, so this works similar to our turret tower design, right? So we got our little area going around outside. This. We got our little ring going. Alright, then we can cut back across here and reconnect it over there, but we're just doing a little bit here to show you. Okay, so but how do you get the caging out over the opening like that, right? So what you do... Okay, now this next part gets a little trickier, right? So get your double door frames out all the way across. This would be so much nicer if we still had hatch frames, but whatever, we have to do what we have to do, right? Hatch frames would be less structures, less load on the server, but hey, whatever, wildcard, we don't need them, so... What you want to do is you want to place these like this, so. Alright, so now our pillars are standing up. And now, of course, this is the weak point, right? If your pillars get taken out, your caging falls. So you want to make sure these pillars are not on the outside like this. If you saw so you most likely saw the other video before this one because this is just a companion video I made. You'll have seen the build where I put those in the middle, so they're harder to take out. Alright, so then you can just simply snap these out. And of course, for extra security, you add extra anchor points everywhere, right? So there we go, now it's anchored into 2 pillars. All right, if we went further, we can anchor it into 3 pillars, 4 pillars, however we want to do it. If you want to do a lot, really extra support, you could do pillar caging and then the door frames on top of the pillar caging to add more support and make it harder for them to blow in. But of course, pillar caging creates some LOS issues. Your turrets can't shoot at certain angles. Sometimes your dinosaur or player will be standing in a certain way and the turrets won't shoot them. It's not a huge LOS issue doing it this way though. It's just a minor one. It's not as bad as ceilings. Pillars are also weaker than double door frames. But you could support them extra by doing this. That way, it's harder to cause them to fall. All right, then the next trick with this is on my teleport pad, I only went up 1 tall. But that's a weakness. All right, we could go up even higher now. If we wanted, we can go up higher, as high as you want. Well, okay, not as high as you want. Sorry. The turrets only fire 19 foundations or whatever, so you don't want to go more than probably 4 high above your support there. All right, and then you can build, you can do this from each pillar. So we'll cut to that. All right, so as you can see, most dinosaurs, they won't fit through one ceiling space, won't fit through here. Pterodons, things like that, can still dive through your caging, but now you're going to be stopping stego drops, turtle drops, things like that. And of course, now you're going to have to blow through several layers of caging to get down close enough to break your support. Now, depending on how tall your caging and everything is you've built, some turrets may not be able to fire all the way to the top of this, so the stego may only be soaking, a handful of turrets that are lined around the top of your turret tower. Just keep that in mind so you know how tall you want to make this. And of course, all you're trying to do is slow down their ability to progress down. You can go up as high as you want, and then just go up there and grab one of the Rhenium Gnatha. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.
They released the new creature dossier, the Fasolasuchus.
It looks amazing. Really just amazing. I'm excited for a new desert dino.
It reminds me of an iguana. I used to have a pet iguana. We named it Godzilla. It didn't do much, though. It just liked to lay under the heat lamp all day.
Iguana? It looks more like a crocodile.
I can see what you're both thinking. It definitely looks like a reptile of some kind. With some recent discoveries, some dinosaurs may actually be larger and covered in feathers.
Like giant chickens. Yum!
Weird. Dinos would look weird with feathers. Fake news. Keep dinos looking the way they are. The Fasolasuchus is great, just really great. It can swim through the sand. It must be powerful to do that.
Look, it can make whirlpools in the sand as well, creating a fun trap.
It looks like players will need to stun the Fasolasuchus, then hop on its back and ride it, turning it so that it charges into a rock to tame it.
Lame. Seriously, lame. I miss the days of just shooting dinos with tranks, throwing food on them, and then being able to go do other stuff while the dino tamed.
It sounds fun to tame the Fasolasuchus by riding it. 2 players will feel more accomplished when they succeed.
Lame.
The post also shows that the bite will go through armor with acid. I wonder if it will reduce armor over time or if it will be like a Giga and just ignore armor altogether.
I hope it is like a Giga. Make sure to check out President's Play Arc on Camway Gaming as well.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for future content.
Have an awesome day.